Attorney Menchaca, suppose I want to apply for the TN visa. How would I get started?
So, simple process. When you call my office and you say, look, I want to apply for the TN visa, the first thing I need to do, or the lawyers in my office would do, is prepare a document checklist, a list of everything that we're going to need from you to apply for the TN visa.
Okay, so what kind of documents are you going to ask for?
So, hard to say at this moment. So the way we prepare that list is we ask you a series of questions, and based on your answers, we decide what documents we're going to need. So we'll say, hey, if I ask you for document ABC, would you be able to get it for me? And if you say yes, then we put it on the list. If you say no, then we figure out what alternatives we have, okay, to make the checklist as easy as possible for you.
Okay, and what else?
And then I also send you some questionnaires, one for you and one for any member of your family that's applying with you, your spouse or your children. And then your job is going to be to get me that documentation.
Okay, so once I have the documents ready and the questionnaires answered, what would be next?
You send all that to me, and then that's where it gets fun. Then my office prepares your TN visa application. And when it's ready, we'll call you and we'll say, ma'am, your application is ready. It's time for you to go apply for your visa. And there's two ways to apply. If you're Mexican or if you're a citizen of Canada, okay? Let's talk about the Mexican. If you're a citizen of Mexico, you're going to apply at a U.S. consulate or U.S. embassy outside of the United States, probably in Mexico or Canada, and you're going to go and you're going to have an appointment. We'll schedule the appointment for you, and we'll say you're going to go on this day to apply for the TN visa, and you're going to have an interview when you apply.
Okay, so how would I prepare for this interview? What do I need to know?
Well, nobody likes interviews, right? So knowing that, we make it as easy as possible for you to go do that. So we'll have a conversation with you over the phone or in person where we'll explain everything you need to know. Where it is, when it is, we'll give you advice on what type of clothes to wear, how to dress up for it, what documents you need to take with you. As a matter of fact, we'll give you the documents that you need to take with you so that you have that fully covered. And most importantly, we explain what types of questions we expect you'll be asked and the best way of answering those questions so that you feel fully confident and prepared during your interview.
Okay, and then after that, do they give me my visa?
Oh, yes. At the U.S. consulate, once the officer interviewing you realizes that you meet all the requirements and verifies that everything's correct in your application, then your visa would be approved on the spot, and they will either give it to you there that day or the next day, or they'll mail it to you in about 5 to 10 days.
I see. What about if I would want to apply as a Canadian? How does that process work?
So it's a simpler process in the sense that we don't have to schedule an appointment for you. You would do exactly the same as a Mexican, except that your appointment or your interview will occur whenever you try to enter the United States. So you're going to enter the United States at any port of entry with your application. And when you arrive, you're going to say, I need to apply for the TN status. And they'll interview you and review your documentation. And once they see that you qualify and everything's good, then they'll put a stamp on your passport that says you now have TN status, which is kind of like a TN visa. Before you do that, we'll have a phone call and we'll explain everything you need to know about that interview so that you're fully aware of what to expect, what types of questions will be asked, how you should dress, so on and so forth, so that you feel very comfortable and prepared when you apply for the TN status.
That sounds great. Thank you, Attorney Menchaca.
Sure, my pleasure.